Startup August PH is co-produced by Credit Hero, Y Spaces, Tuala, Simp, Secuna, Schooltech by Edfolio, Maroon Studios, and Compare Loans. Check out our partners in the description.
Hey Chris, it's really nice to meet you again. Like we were together at the NEA. I don't know.
I think it was climate catalyst.
There's so many.
So it's good to see you again, Charmaine. And Guten Tag, magandang hapon to everyone who's listening to our conversation today. And we hope that you will learn from our stories. So maybe we should introduce ourselves to everyone who's listening. So my name is Chris. I am the founder of the Brave Story, which is a social enterprise empowering women artisans in the Philippines and addressing textile waste. So with me is my bestie, Quago.
Oh, cute. Okay, so hi, Startup PH podcast listeners. So thanks for inviting us here. So my name is Charmaine Kuunyeng, and I am the co-founder and chief strategy officer of NaturLoop. So we're a Swiss-based company that makes this. It's a cocoa board. It's a sustainable building material that makes use of our coconut husk waste. So we have Philippines has like 15 billion coconuts that we throw away a year, usually burn. So we make it into these panels that can replace anything in IKEA, furniture, doors, cabinets. Yes, it's all circular, like what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's very admirable to see initiatives that address agricultural waste because it's also in alignment with what we do. It's to repurpose textile waste, and what you said about the number of waste in the agricultural industry. For the textile waste, 85% of all textiles go to dump every year. So that's like the equivalent of how many dump trucks filled with clothes, filled with fabrics, and it's very alarming because, you never would have thought that clothing, which is an everyday thing that we use, is creating such waste in the world right now. A lot of pollution.
What made you go into it? Like, how did you start? What was the catalyst?
I've been working in garment retail for over a decade now. My undergraduate degree was clothing technology from University of the Philippines. And even as a student, I was very passionate about sustainability, even if it wasn't really that known during that time. It was like in around 2010. But, I think being sustainable is part of Filipino culture. Like, when people would reuse the containers of ice cream, or like in terms of the fashion industry, like the metal cans of the cookies, the Danish cookies.
Yeah.
We put the threads and the needles there. So,
So winky.
By nature, we are sustainable. But, to me, the sustainability practice really began when I was immersed in the fashion industry, because I would go on buying trips in China, and I would do site visits here in the Philippines as well. And I would see how much textile waste is produced, and also the unfair treatment of factory workers. So, and as much as I'm very grateful for the knowledge, the experiences that I acquired from the industry, I mean, that's why I'm able to put up my own business, I was also made aware of the dark side of the fashion industry. So I was inspired to make my own positive change and use fashion as a force for good by creating my own social enterprise, which is Brave Story.
Still filling out loan applications for your business? Yeah, thought so. Save your time. Grow your business. With Credit Hero, one online application gets you loan offers from multiple lenders. Apply for a business loan now. Visit credithero.com.
So how about you? How did you get into creating the cocoa boards?
Oh my gosh, by accident. I keep on thinking, wow, how did I get here? Because actually, for 30 years, I was in a whole different profession. I'm trained in public health and medical anthropology. So I was doing international development for 30 years. Actually, I was working in this building before when it was the UN office. So I worked for international development, ADB, UN, helped start Gawad Kalinga. So my passion really is community development. So having worked in different layers or levels, so NGO to government, one also made me see how not ineffective a lot of development projects are in terms of livelihood and training.
The continuity.
And all the problems are really related to poverty, right? So my last job was in peace building. I was and I still am the executive director for another NGO, apart from NaturLoop, in peace building in Mindanao. And a lot of the conflict in our country is really sourced from poverty, right? So when 5 years ago, my neighbor introduced me to some people while walking at the park, and told me about Coco Board, and I was like, oh my gosh, it checks all my boxes, right? In terms of being able to contribute to climate change in a very tangible way, right? Because sometimes the problem is too overwhelming, right? And sometimes you don't know what you as an individual in the Philippines can do. So that was one. And then second is like, wow, knowing and having worked with poor communities all my life, it's like, wow, to be able to provide the coconut farmers with extra income from the waste that they already have was a no-brainer na parang, my gosh, if this technology from Switzerland does not take off, parang will I be able to sleep at night? Diba? And then again, it's a whole new industry because we're having worked in international development. You see so many development projects from the UNADB, and unfortunate to say, a lot of them are a waste of money.
I see.
Because they train, but then wala naman market. Gawa sila ng gawa. Nafa-frustrate lang lahat ng mga poor people. Na-train nga sila, pero wala naman silang mapagbentahan, right? And even up to now, like with the coconut industry, the Philippines doesn't really provide analytical resource, like market research, na ano ba talaga kailangan ng ano ba bibilhin ng mundo, right? So what coconut products we have? So we're the second biggest coconut producers in the world, and yet our products are very low tech and not really innovative, and it does not compete with or does not really, it's not updated to the global demand. So sobrang saya. So other countries like Vietnam, Thailand are taking us over even if they have less coconuts than we do. Kasi nga walang centralized na government-led or academe-led na market research to guide our coconut cooperatives on what to focus on. So
Correct.
So yes, parang dami like, So I was an investor. I was an angel investor at the beginning, and then now napasubo ako, and now
you're doing it.
Yeah, now co-owner, co-founder, and
So jumping on what you said about continuing the projects, no, that's also one of the things that I've observed in the industry. So for me, it's really important to provide these people the capability to become self-reliant and self-sufficient. So I work closely with artisan mothers from different parts of the Philippines. So, doing this is something quite personal for me because I was raised by a single mom. So my mom was widowed over 20 years ago. And it wasn't easy being, a single mother, raising two young children on her own. And I feel that the people listening to us could relate as well. But my mom chose to be brave.
Yeah.
So that's like part of why my brand's name is Brave Story. Because it started with my own personal brave story of piecing myself together during such a difficult time. Like, as with everyone, I assume during the global pandemic, everyone went through their own struggles. I personally lost my job and faced different personal struggles, but I found the courage to start over again. With Brave Story, the patchworks were symbolic of piecing myself together, and what was broken became whole again. So it started with that, and as I worked with the different communities, I came to listen to the stories of the nanays, and it's very inspiring to see and to hear the stories of how they didn't allow poverty or their circumstances to define who they are. They chose to be brave and to start anew and to use the skills that they learned through the sewing programs, the embroidery workshops that they did to uplift the lives of their families. And that's something very meaningful for me. And I feel that it's aligned also with what you're doing, empowering our farming communities to uplift the lives of their children.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's really important for us to pave the way for the children of tomorrow to have a better future.
Yeah, actually, it was a really eye-opener because coming from the development field, parang isip mo, private sector so greedy and materialistic and, it was always demonized. But now that I have the startup, I realize, oh my gosh, I have so much respect now for private sector, for business owners, because the amount of work you need to do to also provide for salaries and as a force for good is so much more power to attract attention because nga of money, right? Economic opportunities. So you get to open doors much faster.
Yeah.
People will listen to you because there are economic opportunities. But also the generosity of the community, I think, the ecosystem. Wow, I realize now, even with cold calls, cold messages on LinkedIn or even here, I love asking for advice, right? And makapal ako, like, CEO ka ng big company? Sure, connect. But,
Yeah, that's being brave, like stepping outside of your comfort zone because you want to have something done.
Yes, and it was so surprising that they actually will respond. I've had so many strangers all over the world and in the Philippines give me their time to give advice, right? So, I mean, people love talking about themselves, and that's why we're here.
So we're here, and I think we can proceed to answering the questions that they prepared for us. Okay, so
what was the moment you realized this wasn't just a project, but a mission? Like, go.
Interesting question. Probably coming from a space of vulnerability. I've always wondered why I'm here in this world. Because when I was a teenager, I almost died.
Wow.
And since then, I've always asked myself, why am I given another chance to live? And as I grew older, I came to understand that mission is to touch people's lives. To use my talent to make these people realize that they are not limited. They are limitless. So if they just learn to be brave, to embrace what they have, to have an open mind, they can achieve their dreams. And I think that for Brave Story, it wasn't really a project. It's really the culmination of what I've learned in the retail industry. And at the same time, it's highlighting my heart and my passion for service because I've always been active in initiatives that relate to community development, empowering women, and it's really something that I've always wanted to do even when I was still a student. So to me, it's like the fulfillment of the purpose that I feel that I have, making the world better through these products. Like probably to share when I started Brave Story, I did a crowdfunding campaign. And the Quagos traveled from the Philippines to the Czech Republic. And the person who supported the crowdfunding for that particular product, he told me that he gave the Quago, the owl, to his niece, but he also shared to me that he gave it as a gift to a Ukrainian child, to a refugee. And I can't imagine the pain of a child who is displaced by war. But if this little product was able to bring a smile to that child, then to me, even if being an entrepreneur is difficult, it's very fulfilling because more than the measurement of economic growth, it's the quality of life that's being uplifted that really matters most to me. So how about you?
Yeah, I think super similar. That's why it's interesting. It's really lovely to meet like other founders, especially in the sustainability space, because a lot of us are driven by something deeper, right? Purpose, right? Service, purpose. And so, it was never a project. I think my motto in life is just go with the flow because the universe actually is wiser, is very wise to guide you towards things that maybe you never thought of, right? Of doing or being in. I would never have thought that I would be in business for one thing. My brother, who will never listen to this podcast.
Maybe he will.
Every time I see him, his advice to me is sell your shares and quit. Like, bakit? Kasi bae ako. But yeah, like you, ever since I started working, my first job was like youth assassins, like in Bagong Silang. Gang members who were paid 200 pesos to kill. So my first conversation with them was like, kung papatay ka lang, taasan mo na yung presyo mo. Bakit 200? Dapat 1,000. So yun yung mga conversations. And my last job was with ex-ISIS fighters in Marawi. And now, I'm in coconut. So who would have known, right? So I feel like I do a lot of meditation. I head this NGO called International Association for Human Values, and we teach a lot of breathing techniques and meditation. Why? Because a lot of, I think, our intuition, our wisdom, right? You already know, like the world is already telling you how you can make a very happy, fulfilling life. It's already there. But it's up to you if you can see it, if you can sense it, and if you actually want to listen to that.
If you're able to see the light within you, and if you could hold space for others to share that light with them so they could, they could illuminate the path to make the world a better place.
Yeah, and I think that's what the women of the world can contribute to the startup entrepreneurial space, right?
Yeah.
So there was a study that showed I'm turning 50 in 2 months.
Still very young.
Yeah, 50 and single. So I'm a single mom as well. I have a 14-year-old hormonal 14-year-old clashing with my own perimenopausal hormones. That was my point. I lost my point. Yeah. Ano
being a woman,
yeah.
being a mother,
right. I think
making a difference.
Yeah, there was a study that says na a lot of the successful startups are actually from women who are 50 and above,
I
who
see.
start their own businesses based on what is meaningful to them, because at this age we've had our careers, you already know your priorities, right? And it's very purpose driven,
Yeah.
right? So it was interesting
Yes.
because that's also where I find myself, that and at 50 I am starting in a whole new sector. I had like major imposter syndrome at the beginning, because parang, oh my God, wala akong alam. Wala akong alam sa business. I had like, every time we would have our business calls, on my notebook pa ako talaga old school. Meron ako isang column on the right na terms that I need to look up. I didn't even know what was B2B, B2C.
Yeah.
Right? And all the sustainability. So, ako naman, I love learning, right? So, I did some certificate courses. I'm still reading a lot of books. But as a woman, I think there are a lot of limitations, but so many, much more opportunities.
Yes.
And I was telling you during the break that when I attended, there was a founder conference on women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And parang I was thinking, I don't really agree with the narrative na just because we're women, we need to be given favors or be empowered, because the assumption is that we cannot make it by ourselves, that we need extra help and extra support. And I'm like, but in my work ever since, I've always been in male dominated industries. Like I worked for Asian Development Bank as a consultant for 11 years in the transport sector. So literally I was surrounded by male engineers, male transport heads, male government officials. But as a woman, I actually worked my being young and being a woman, and at that time cute pa ako. And it really worked in my favor.
Use it to your advantage. I love what you said about, even if you've reached a certain age, you weren't afraid to start again. I've always believed that you're never too young to lead and you're never too old to dream. I'm in my early 30s. But, to me, I've never really aspired to climb the corporate ladder. When I was a child, I've always been an achiever. The best student, the valedictorian, the gold medalist. And in as much as I am thankful for those recognition, it didn't define who I was. I preferred a life that has more meaning for me. Living slowly, more gently, more kind. To me, it's a good thing to be recognized for what I've worked hard for. But I want to create a legacy of love through the products that I create, through the stories that I tell. And, even if I feel that for millennials like me, we're recovering people pleasers. So it's like a journey of embracing our worth. And also trying to understand, why are we here? How can we make an impact in our own little way? So, for women who are, like, speaking for millennials who are afraid to step outside of their comfort zone, I think it's very inspiring to hear, like, a woman like you who has a lot of experience in terms of your career and also being a mother. It will inspire them to just go for it. There's no time limit for you to achieve a dream or to start over again. Because as long as you're alive, there's always a chance for you to start anew and to start a new brave story. I'm plugging my brand for yourself, and hearing inspiring stories of women who use their voice in a field where men dominate. I think it's very inspiring to hear that kind of journey of yours.
Trust the digital future with Twala. Secure and tamper-proof digital signature. Electronic notarization service. And custom AI agents for intelligent document workflows. Visit twala.io to learn more. In today's digital world, your organization needs more than just technology. It needs a strategic partner. At Symph, we build web and mobile apps that drive innovation for startups, enterprises, and organizations worldwide. Visit symph.co today.
Protect your assets from bugs before bad hackers exploit them. And launch your products seamlessly with Sakuna, your trusted partner in cybersecurity. Receive reports in real time and work with security experts to find bugs in your products before others do. Let's make your security our priority.
And I think a lot of it, I don't know, hopefully you have a big chunk of your audience that are women, mothers, right? Especially older. Because what's happening with my generation, parang all their lives, they were before they got married, they were like, earning more than their husbands. And they had a career track. And then when they got pregnant, they had to
give
stop, right?
Mm-hmm.
To give it up, raise the kids. And then now that the kids are university age, they're so lost.
Mm-hmm.
Parang they don't know what to do with themselves. Because hindi na nga sila nagtrabaho for a long time.
Yes.
It's very hard to go back to the corporate world, and then feeling nila never pa naman sila nag-business. So, they are so insecure about their abilities, right? And lost on, what to do with themselves, and where is that fulfillment or...
Because for the longest time, nanay lang ako. I'm just a mother without realizing that being a mom is a lot of hard work.
Yeah, it gives you so much life skills that
Yes.
men will never learn.
And you give up so much of yourself for your children. So that's something that, mothers assume that it's their responsibility, but it's actually a shared responsibility for both parents. It's just that the burden of it falls more for mothers.
Yes, so my advice to the women of my age, please go to your husbands and say, excuse me, now it's my turn. Right?
Yes.
You share the finances to invest in what I want to do. And now it's your turn to support me, right? Because I've supported the family, I've supported
For the
the
longest
children.
time.
So I think as women, really put your foot down, right? And just say, if I'm not happy, you will not be happy. Right?
Correct.
Right? And you really need to find that. And that's empowerment. You don't need to wait for people to empower you and give you opportunities. You just take it.
Yes.
Without apologies, without requesting.
Without doubting yourself. Yeah. So should we proceed to the next question? How do we go about this? Okay. So going back to the sustainability question, how do we make people see that upcycled or reimagined can be premium?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So for me, part of my discipline as a fashion designer is really being focused on the quality of the products. And that's because I know how to create a garment from pattern making to, of course, the design and then assembling it on my own. I'm able to pass that knowledge to the artisan communities that I work with. So the profile of these mothers, they are, of course, some of them are single parents, senior citizens, informal garbage collectors. Some of them are displaced. So not all of them have the training as a seamstress. But what I love about these people is that they're very open to learning, just like what you said earlier. So these people, even if they're not really skilled sewers, they keep on practicing, on learning, and they're very open to feedback because when I do the trainings, I observe that oh, this quality of stitching is not acceptable. Some of them might complain because it's additional work, but I get to help them understand that, your products will be sold not only in the Philippines, but in other countries. So it's like you're carrying the sash of Miss Philippines.
Yeah.
So you should be proud of the kind of work that you're creating. And, so to me, that's being premium because anyone can make patchwork. It's a craft that's been in existence for centuries, but not everyone can create a high quality product. And that's what sets my brand apart from our contemporaries. And that's one thing that I appreciate with my retail training. It's the attention to detail and really making sure that the customer gets value for their money. So, and it's also being sustainable because if you provide high quality and premium products, they will last for a long time.
Yeah.
Instead of, just creating something for the sake of creating and then it will get destroyed. So it defeats the purpose of sustainability.
Yeah, especially in fashion. I just realized I was the backpack, the work backpack that I've been using for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Parang binili ko. Sabi ko nga, nag-umpisa ako noong 2006. So when I bought it, parang isip ko pa, super to mahal, pero, whatever. But then now, like, oh, I'm using it almost every day. In 20 years, sabi ko, wow, yung ROI niya.
Yes. And
that's sustainability.
That's sustainability. And same, like I have pieces from my grandmother, from my mom. So it's like, it's the craftsmanship of these products that, allow them to be used for a very long time. And that's the difference of the quality of products before and then now with the advent of fast fashion and people keep on buying cheap things without realizing that, what if you just save money to buy something of excellent quality and you'll keep using it for the next 20 years? So, it's really a matter of mindset and a lifestyle shift for people. So how about you? How do you make the boards premium? And obviously, this is very premium. I'm holding it now.
Actually, it looks premium, right? But originally, it was developed for low-cost housing. So it was actually developed to be an affordable, sustainable product, which of course we are still striving to achieve right now. It can be with the volume be priced compared to like the cheap Chinese panels out there that are from, oh my gosh, sobrang that contribute to deforestation and then all the toxins that they use. That's the goal, to make it, to produce it in such an efficient way that we can really make it accessible and affordable to all sectors. But of course, we're a startup. This took 2 million euros worth of research and development and 10 years to produce, right? So I guess premium, when you say premium, I mean, you look at the quality, right?
Exactly.
So first, yes, it is a new innovative material. So of course, to enter it, to produce it, we have higher costs, right? So it will always be premium at the beginning because we're trying to produce it from scratch, right? And a lot of our supply chain are not really existing. So we also have to spend to develop that. Lucky for us, the production allows us to rent out existing particle board machine factories. So we don't really need a big capital to put up our own factory for this. But our clients, I think for marketing purposes, being premium is always the ideal way to go. Not competing with existing, competing with price to reach the lowest price. But, starting with premium for clients that want to be pioneers in the sustainability space. So we're lucky enough the past 2 years, we have a lot of European furniture makers like IKEA, Vitra, that makes these Ames chair and Pantone chair, very iconic. So they've been one of some of our pioneer customers who want to lead in the sustainable furniture space. So yes, they're very premium, and if it's new, the ones who can take the risk are the premium manufacturers or businesses that cater to people with a higher risk appetite. But yeah, we're very lucky because once they start, then everybody will follow.
Yes, I like what you said about the pricing. There's a certain misconception that if something is premium, it's expensive. To some extent, maybe yes, especially if, for example, it's used for construction. But in terms of fashion, our products are accessibly priced. Even students can buy a Brave Story bag charm. So because that's how I'm able to apply the retail knowledge. It's like I want it to be win-win for everyone. Like supporting our artisans by paying them fair wages, making sure that the company is earning, and at the same time, giving the customer the value for their money. So it's really understanding how each stakeholder is being beneficial in the whole cycle of this of the production. So to me, being premium is really about the quality, not necessarily about the price. Because even if yes, you would invest in something more pricey, because of the excellent quality, again, if you compute the ROI, you're investing for the future and for long-term use.
Yeah, and for us, it's premium because there are very few competitors, right?
Exactly.
That's one. We are addressing a huge gap in the construction furniture, interior architecture market. But also because we provide just much more than just the material. We provide the story, the sustainability story and impact metrics that companies can use to improve their branding towards sustainability and being more green. So, yung ROI nila includes lahat ng mga marketing cost that they would have had to pay to capture the eco-friendly sustainability market, right? But this one, you're buying the product for the price of the product, but all the value, the added value is the story and the opportunity to brand yourself, differentiate yourself from
the others. Yes. So to continue on our discussion, we were talking about the artisan mothers, the farmers. So what is one thing that our community partners have taught us that shaped our work? That's
Oh my gosh, I just came from Davao, from this coconut cooperative conference. Sobra kang awang-awa sa kanila. I think there were, they call it 90 co-ops. And so I was asking the Center for Cooperative Development Agency, CDA. So a lot of our cocoa levy fund, yung pera ng coconut, hindi gumagalaw. Pero itong CDA, they are mandated to use that money for training. So I said, okay, you have 90 co-ops here. And sabi ko, anong klaseng training ibibigay ninyo? Sabi niya, well, bahala yung co-ops na magsabi sa amin kung ano yung gusto nilang training. Sabi ko, Hindi ba dapat baliktad? Di ba dapat tayo gumagastos for market research nga on what is the trend and what is the demand for whatever coconut products, and then and then we advise them what products to do, and then based on that, ano yung training na kailangan nila, diba? Kasi ngayon, what's happening, wala naman access or market analysis yung mga co-ops. So, syempre, lahat ng alam nila, very traditional na products. Suppose they will compete with each other pa, local market. So, so parang it's really important to listen to your for us, the coconut farmers, right? The supply chain. And it's not, to really optimize your business for impact in all these different levels. And so I'm a big advocate now. I'm very vocal na pushing for the government, the Philippine Coconut Authority, these government agencies, the private sector to take responsibility for the waste, right? Because if we are not vocal, nothing will happen. So all these years, all our coconut waste have been ignored, like completely ignored, right? And parang, hoy, tama na. Parang, it's about time that you become accountable, right? And you put in the money. Yeah.
Yes. So that's very inspiring to hear, like learning to speak up, like in terms of the community that I work with. Most of the time, these women are taken for granted, and to me, providing them with dignified livelihoods allow me to give a voice to the voiceless by telling their stories. Like, probably one of the inspiring stories is I work with an artisan mother who is 80 years old already. She has a son with special needs.
Okay.
And this nanay, even if, she should be resting, enjoying her life, she's so worried about her son if she passes on in the future. And, to me, hearing these people from underserved sectors having that flame of hope that they want to keep going. These nanays, after the community trainings that I've done, they would tell me, Ma'am Chris, pwede pa pala kaming mangarap. We can still dream. For me, hearing that makes what I'm doing more worthwhile.
Yeah.
Because, of course, apart from the fair wages that I'm paying them, it's recovering that sense of worth that even if they went through so many struggles, they're facing different challenges, it's reaffirming their worth. It's taking back the space that they deserve. And, I think it's also something that I learned from them. That for most of my life, I'm like, I try to shy away from the limelight. I prefer to work behind the scenes. But if, I mean, for our listeners, I'm an introvert. So, so we're introverts, but we're, stepping out of our comfort zone and sharing our story in the hopes of inspiring people to, to believe in yourself. And that's something that I'm also teaching myself to understand that I work so hard for these things, and I also need to acknowledge my progress and my growth. So with empowering these communities to take up the space that they deserve, I'm also empowering myself to realize that, you deserve to be wherever you are right now.
Yeah, similar to, I was in Zamboanga del Sur. Tapos we have a great partner now called Syntegral Global Solutions. CEO is Brian Thomas, and they are revolutionizing the coconut industry because now they are entering into formal contracts with farmers. So before, bibili lang yung, like a lot of these big coconut manufacturers, bibili lang sila ng coconut from anyone who will sell them at the lowest price. But this time, SGS actually enters into a long-term contract with these farmers and will buy at a fair price the whole coconut and not just the shell or the meat, and then everything is wasted. They're gonna produce everything they can with the coconut without wastage, and we come in at the latter stage, right? And then so meron silang 5,000 women that will be making coconut nets, and then senior citizens. So parang you were talking to all these like, yeah, mga lola. Tapos Lola, bakit di ba kayo nagsasign up? Maubusan na kayo. Ganyan talaga. Pwede ba? Pwede ba? So parang, we were telling them na yung opportunity. Tapos, ayan, after na nag-usap kami, nag-tricycle yung 3 lola para mag-sign up right away. So like, thank God, like, meron mga ganang opportunities that we can support with our businesses, right?
Correct. Okay, the next.
What early mistake or failed experiment are you now grateful for?
That's
So many. So many failed experiments. That's what a startup is. You try everything and you keep on pivoting, right?
yes, and it's it's trying to be authentic. Like being a startup founder involves a lot of trial and error, and I feel that we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves because, for most startup founders, it's like we're trying to figure out the journey as we go along the way. And all of those mistakes contribute to our growth. And to me, I can't really think of a particular failure, but it's acknowledging that, we don't know everything. So it's important to have an open mind, to listen to feedback, and also to seek mentors who would be very willing to hold space for us and share us the knowledge that we needed to apply to our businesses.
Nakalama, what's a difficult no that you had to say? No to investors that were not aligned with your values.
I like that.
Nakailan na ako na parang, no thanks. I don't need your money if this is the way you talk. Or parang, so as a startup, guys, know your value. Know your value and where, the value of your product, your value as a co-founder. They say that investors will really base it on the competence of the founding team, right? It's a lot of times they try to intimidate you. And yes, we're founders, so we don't really, we're new in the space. Don't let them intimidate you, and just find the ones that will respect you and admire what you're doing and the strength. So hold on or hold off. Parang don't be so desperate, I think. Yeah.
Yes, I like what you said about that because for us, I had to say no to certain corporate orders. Of course, like for a startup, we're very fortunate that they would want to order from, our small business. But I always prioritize the needs of my artisan community. So if the timeline is not feasible, if the quality of the product will be compromised, then I would say no, even if I really, really want to say yes. But if the reputation of the brand will suffer because of the poor output of the production, then I would prefer to say no. But sometimes it's also a skill to learn how to make compromises, to negotiate. So even if I said no to a certain thing, we discussed what is possible to do. And that's the thing that I said yes to. So it's like knowing when to say yes and when to set healthy boundaries.
And who you want to be in your cap table. Who do you want to actually work with because this is a long-term journey, right? So whoever's investing in you and whoever will want to partner with you, you have to think, oh my gosh, kaya ko ba tong kausapin for the next 10 years, diba?
True, because it's
That-
relationship building also.
And, meron ba siyang capacity to actually have mutual respect? So, yeah, be careful, guys. Don't think about just the money and the success. You have to think, who are you aligned with?
So I think we're down to the last questions. All right. So what part of our work is much harder than people realize? You can go first.
I think, for me, it's work-life balance, right? Being a single mom, I have a business, I run an NGO, and my first and foremost priority is my son, right? But also, my mental wellness, my taking care of myself, I think. So, if ever my biggest message to other startup founders is always take care of yourself first, right? Take the time, because it's a very high burnout rate in this industry. Just take the time, put yourself first.
So for me, the most difficult thing, I guess, is like with everyone, is showing up as your authentic self, as my authentic self. And, like in the entrepreneurship sphere, people will always resonate to your story. And, telling about the journey that we went through, the vulnerabilities of these people, the advocacies that I have, the desire to make the world a better place, people will resonate with that. And it's okay if there are certain customers who will not purchase, because the right people will always find you. The right collaborators will always find you. And, I've always believed that what's meant for you will always be yours. So it's okay to go at a slow pace and to just keep showing up as who you are, because people will always resonate with someone with a genuine heart.
Education is evolving, and so are we. Introducing School Tech by Edfolio, your all-in-one school management solution. Built for schools of all sizes, School Tech bridges the gap between school and learning management. Driven by passion, School Tech makes educational technology accessible, affordable, and easy to use for schools everywhere. With an integrated approach, School Tech simplifies management across different departments and enhances efficiency in operations. School Tech transforms the way schools manage, teach, and learn. School Tech, taking school management solutions to the next level.
Running a business? Make it smarter with Red Circle Global. Streamline operations, boost productivity, and manage everything in one powerful ERP system. Book your free business demo today at redcircleglobal.com, guided by one of our top experts.
So I guess the last question would be, what is our final message to our listeners? Maybe you can...
Final message.
Yes.
Find something that is meaningful, because that will help you choose between Netflix or work.
Correct.
It has to be really something that will justify all the hard work and all the sacrifices, because startups, you will definitely go through that. So if it's not, for me, service-oriented, fulfilling, purposeful, then it's hard to keep on track.
Yeah, so for me, it's okay to have multiple passions. I'm a fashion designer, a writer, a painter, but in everything that I do, I put my heart into them. and I'm always anchored to my purpose. And with Brave Story, I've always believed that all of us may have our different stories of growth, of change, but the common value that we share is being brave. So my message would be the people who change the world are storytellers. If you want to change the world, tell your brave story. So please follow our Instagram page at The Brave Story. Our Facebook is the same at The Brave Story. And our website is www.thebravestory.com.ph.
And if you're interested to learn about sustainability, if you're in the real estate development or furniture maker, or you just want to talk and discuss your startup, would love to discuss with you. So my company's NaturLoop website is www.naturloop.com. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. So just find my very complicated name on our website and then find me on LinkedIn. And if you want to do stress management for yourself, but also for your team, happy to connect with you through artofliving.org. And yeah, something that I think that is one of my biggest advocacy also, that we all need to make sure that we are mentally, emotionally well to do this work.
So feel free to reach out to us in our LinkedIn, which is in the caption below. So again, I am Chris of The Brave Story. Vielen Dank. Maraming salamat for taking the time to listen to our stories.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much to our 64 patrons. This episode is super powered by AskLex PH Academy, our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and more. Architect Space Solutions. Architect provides ground station services, space data analytics, and technology supplies while partnering with government, academia, and industry to grow the Philippines' role in the global space ecosystem. DVCO Technologies Incorporated. IT Solutions specializing in software development, blockchain smart contracts, digital wallets, and cybersecurity. NutriCoach. Personalized nutrition and weight loss programs for you. Argum AI. Make smarter decisions by presenting both sides of an issue as argued by two distinct AI models. Pixel by ePlayment. Turn content into opportunity, grow deeper connections, and earn more. Only with Pixel. Sign up at pixel.eplayment.co. School of Profits. Filipino community for aspiring freelancers, VAs, agency builders, and online earners. Built to help you start, grow, and earn online together. Founders Launchpad, our ecosystem partner, early stage accelerator providing venture capital funding, operational support, and mentorship. Hire Business Solutions, provider the most configurable cloud-based payroll system in the Philippines. Agile Data Solutions, the Philippines' fastest growing market insights tech company with its data gathering platform, Hustle PH. SmileChecks, streamlined hiring and onboarding with automated background checks. Cloud CFO, cloud accounting service provider for business ready to grow. Cloverly, all-in-one digital platform for property developers. Body Beaties, accessible and personalized diabetes self-management application. HKB Digital Services, tech-based business tools including payroll, ticketing, and loyalty rewards. Hyperstocks, digital banking enabler for rural and thrift banks. One CFO, CFO services, bookkeeping and tax, payroll processing for startups and small businesses. Wonderbrand, data science-driven brand strategy and design for emerging markets. This episode is powered by Josie AI, Uplift Code Comp, Board Prep, Kansan Barley, East Point Business Outsourcing Services, Filipina Home-Based Moms, Hex Colony, Jur.ph, Big Giant Games, Pahatid PH, Sugbodok, Algacon Aquafeeds Juan Alj, Grey Wolf Technologies Philippines, Pareto Consulting, Sirius MD. Support the podcast through the links in the description.